Krzysztof Eugeniusz Penderecki is a Polish composer and conductor. The Guardian has called him Poland's greatest living composer. Among his best-known works are his Threnody to the Victims of Hiroshima, St.Luke Passion, Polish Requiem, Anaklasis, 4/8 symphonies and other orchestral pieces, a variety of instrumental concertos, choral settings of mainly religious texts, as well as chamber and instrumental works. Born in Debrecen to a lawyer, Penderecki studied music at Jagiellonian University and the Academy of Music in Kraków. After graduating from the Academy of Music, Penderecki became a teacher at the Academy, and he began his career as a composer in 1959 during the Warsaw Autumn Festival. His Threnody to the Victims of Hiroshima for string orchestra and the choral works St.Luke Passion have received popular acclaim. His first opera, The Devils of Loudon, was not immediately successful. Beginning in the mid-1970s, Penderecki's composing style changed, with his first violin concerto focusing on the semitone and the tritone. His choral work, Polish Requiem, was written in the 1980s, with Penderecki expanding it in 1993 and 2005. During his life, Penderecki has won several prestigious awards, including the Commander's Cross in 1964, the Prix Italia in 1967 and 1968, the Knight's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restituta in 1964, 3 Grammy Awards in 1987, 1998 and 2001, and the University of Louisville Grorimar Award for Music Composition in 1992. Life 1933 to 58. Early years. Penderecki was born in Debrecen to Tadeusz Penderecki, a lawyer, and Zofia. Penderecki's grandfather, Robert Berger, was a highly talented painter and director of the local bank at the time of Penderecki's birth. Robert's father Johann moved to Debrecen from Breslau in the mid-19th century. His grandmother was an Armenian from Isfahan, Iran. Penderecki used to go to Armenian church in Kraków with her. Penderecki was the youngest of 3 siblings. His sister, Barbara, was married to a mining engineer, and his older brother, Janus, was studying law and medicine at the time of his birth. Tadeusz was a violinist and also played piano. In 1939, the Second World War broke out, and Penderecki's family moved out of their apartment as the Ministry of Food was to operate there. After the war, Penderecki began attending grammar school in 1946. He began studying the violin under Stanislaw Darlak, Debrecen's military band master who organized an orchestra for the local music society after the war. Upon graduating from grammar school, Penderecki moved to Kraków in 1951, where he attended Jagiellonian University. He studied violin with Stanislaw Toroshevich and music theory with Franciszek Skolaszewski. In 1954, Penderecki entered the Academy of Music in Kraków and, having finished his studies on violin after his first year, focused entirely on composition. Penderecki's main teacher there was Artur Malewski, a composer known for his choral works and orchestral works, as well as chamber music and songs. After Malewski's death in 1957, Penderecki took further lessons with Stanislaw Wieczowicz, a composer primarily known for his choral works. At the time, the 1956 overthrow of Stalinism in Poland lifted strict communist cultural censorship and opened the door to a wave of creativity. 1958 to 70's first compositions on graduating from the Academy of Music in Kraków in 1958. Penderecki took up a teaching post at the Academy. His early works show the influence of Anton Webern and Pierre Boulez. Penderecki's international recognition began in 1959 at the Warsaw Autumn with the premieres of the works Strophen, Psalms of David, and Emanations. But the piece that truly brought him to international attention was Threnody to the Victims of Hiroshima, written in 1960 for 52 string instruments. In it, he makes use of extended instrumental techniques. There are many novel textures in the work, which makes great use of tone clusters. He originally titled the work 8 feet 37, but decided to dedicate it to the victims of Hiroshima. Fluorescences followed a year later. It increases the orchestral density with more wind and brass, and an enormous percussion section of 32 instruments for 6 players, including a Mexican gyro, typewriters, gongs and other unusual instruments. The piece was composed for the Donaueschingen Festival of Contemporary Music of 1962, and its performance was regarded as provocative and controversial. Even the score appeared revolutionary. The form of graphic notation that Penderecki had developed eschewed the familiar look of notes on a star, instead representing music as morphing sounds. His intentions at this stage were quite Cagean. "All I'm interested in is liberating sound beyond all tradition." Quote, "This preoccupation with sound culminated in the Natura Sonorsi, which frequently calls upon the orchestra to use non-standard playing techniques to produce original sounds and colors." A sequel, De Natura Sonoris 2, was composed in 1971, with its more limited orchestra. It incorporates more elements of post-romanticism than its predecessor. This foreshadowed Penderecki's renunciation of the avant-garde in the mid-1970s, although both pieces feature dramatic glissandos, dense clusters, and a use of harmonics and unusual instruments. In 1968, Penderecki received State Prize First Class. Due to the Jubilee of People's Republic of Poland, he received Commander's Cross and Knight's Cross of Order of Polonia Restituta. The St.Luke Passion. The large-scale St.Luke Passion brought Penderecki further popular acclaim, not least because it was devoutly religious, yet written in an avant-garde musical language composed within communist Eastern Europe. Western audiences saw it as a snub to the Soviet authorities. Various different musical styles can be seen in the piece. The experimental textures, such as were seen in the Threnody, are balanced by the work's Baroque form and the occasional use of more traditional harmonic and melodic writing. Penderecki makes use of serialism in this piece, and one of the tone rows he uses includes the Bach motif, which acts as a bridge between the conventional and more experimental elements. The Stabat Mater section toward the end of the piece concludes on a simple chord of D major, and this gesture is repeated at the very end of the work, which finishes on a triumphant E major chord. These are the only tonal harmonies in the work, and both come as a surprise to the listener. Penderecki's use of tonal triads such as these remains a controversial aspect of the work. Penderecki continued to write pieces that explored the sacred in music. In the early 1970s he wrote Dies Irae, a Magnificat, and Canticum Canticorum Salomonis for chorus and orchestra. 1970s. Present around the mid-1970s while he was a professor at the Yale School of Music, Penderecki's style began to change. The violin concerto No. 1 largely leaves behind the dense tone clusters with which he had been associated, and instead focuses on 2 melodic intervals, the semitone and the tritone. This direction continued with the Symphony No. 2, Christmas, which is harmonically and melodically quite straightforward. It makes frequent use of the tune of the Christmas carol Silent Night. Penderecki explained this shift by stating that he had come to feel that the experimentation of the avant-garde had gone too far from the expressive, non-formal qualities of Western music. The avant-garde gave one an illusion of universalism. The musical world of Stockhausen, Nono, Boulez and Cage was for us, the young, hemmed in by the aesthetics of socialist realism, then the official canon in our country, a liberation. I was quick to realize, however, that this novelty, this experimentation and formal speculation, is more destructive than constructive. I realized the utopian quality of its Promethean tone. Penderecki concluded that he was saved from the avant-garde snare of formalism by a return to tradition. In 1980, Penderecki was commissioned by Solidarity to compose a piece to accompany the unveiling of a statue at the Gdansk shipyards to commemorate those killed in anti-government riots there in 1970. Penderecki responded with Lacrimosa, which he later expanded into one of the best-known works of his later period, the Polish Requiem. Again, the harmonies are rich, although there are moments which recall his work in the 1960s. In recent years, he has tended towards more traditionally conceived tonal constructs, as heard in works such as the Cello Concerto No. 2 and the Credo. He conducted Credo on the occasion of the 70th birthday of Helmut Rilling, the 29th of May 2003. In celebration of his 75th birthday, he conducted 3 of his works at the Rheingau Music Festival in 2008, among them Siakona from the Polish Requiem. In 2001, Penderecki's Credo received the Grammy Award for Best Choral Performance for the world premiere recording made by the Oregon Bach Festival, which commissioned the piece. The same year, Penderecki was awarded with the Prince of Asturias Prize in Spain, one of the highest honors given in Spain to individuals, entities, organizations or others from around the world who make notable achievements in the sciences, arts, humanities, or public affairs. Invited by Walter Fink, he was the 11th composer featured in the annual Komponistenportrait of the Rheingau Music Festival in 2001. Penderecki received an honorary doctorate from the Seoul National University, Korea in 2005, as well as from the University of Münster, Germany in 2006. His notable students include Chester Biscardi and Walter Mays. He is currently engaged in the creation of a choral work to coincide with the Armenian Genocide Centennial. Penderecki has 3 children, a daughter from his first marriage by his pianist first wife, and a son and daughter with his current wife, Elżbieta Penderecka, whom he married in 1965. Culture place. He lives in the Kraków suburb of Wola Justowska. He is working on an opera based on Fedra by Racine for 2014 and wishes to write a 9th symphony. Legacy. A main belt asteroid 21059 Penderecki is named in Penderecki's honor. Works. Penderecki's compositions include operas, symphonies, choral works, as well as chamber and instrumental music. Use in film. Some of Penderecki's music has been adapted for film soundtracks. The Exorcist also features it, as well as his string quartet and canon for orchestra, and tape fragments of the Cello Concerto and the Devils of Loudon are also used in the film. Writing about The Exorcist, the film critic for The New Republic wrote, "Even the music is faultless, most of it by Krzysztof Penderecki, who at last is where he belongs." The Shining features 6 pieces of Penderecki's music: Utrenia 2, Ewangelia, Utrenia 2, Canon Pasci, The Awakening of Jacob, De Natura Sonoris No. 1, De Natura Sonoris No. 2, and Polymorphia. David Lynch has used Penderecki's music in the soundtracks of the movies Wild at Heart and Inland Empire. In the film Fearless by Peter Weir, the piece Polymorphia was once again used for an intense plane crash scene seen from the point of view of the passenger, played by Jeff Bridges. Penderecki's piece, Threnody for the Victims of Hiroshima, was also used during one of the final sequences in the film Children of Men. Penderecki composed music for Andrzej Wajda's 2007 Academy Award-nominated film Katyn, while Martin Scorsese's Shutter Island featured his Symphony No. 3 and Fluorescences. Honors and Awards 2014 Order of the Cross of Terra Mariana First Class 2013 Grammy for the Best Classical Compendium 2011 Viadrina Prize 2009 Order of Merit of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg Merit of Armenia 2008 Polish Academy Award for Best Film Score for Katyn Commander of the Order of the Three Stars 2005 Order of the White Eagle 2004 Premium Imperial Music 2003 Grand Gold Decoration for Services to the Republic of Austria Prize Air Europeus Concerto Music Freedom of Debaca Eduardo M. Torna Medal of the Conservatorio de Música del Principado Asturias in Oviedo, Spain Honorary Director of the Choir of the Prince of Asturias Foundation Honorary President of the Apayola Creation Musical 2002 State Prize of North Rhine-Westphalia Romano Gardini Prize 2001 Prince of Asturias Award for Art Honorary Member of the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts 2000 Cannes Classical Award as Living Composer of the Year Honorary Member of the Society of Friends of Music in Vienna Officer of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic 1999 Music Prize of the City of Duisburg 1998 Composition Prize for the Promotion of the European Economy Foreign Honorary Member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters Corresponding Member of the Bavarian Academy of Fine Arts Munich Honorary Board of the Vilnius Festival 99 1996 Primetime Emmy Award of the Academy of Television Arts and Amp Sciences Commander of the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres 1995 Member of the Royal Irish Academy of Music Honorary Citizen of Strasbourg Primetime Emmy Award of the Academy of Television Arts and Amp Sciences Hudder Prize 1993 Distinguished Citizen Fellowship at the Institute for Advanced Study at Indiana University Bloomington Prize of the International Music Council UNESCO for Music Cultural Merit of the Principality of Monaco 1992 University of Louisville Grorimar Award for Music Composition for Adagio for Symphony Austrian Medal for Science and Art 1990 Grand Cross of Merit of the Order of Merit of the Federal Republic of Germany Chevalier de Saint-Georges 1985 Premio Lorenzo Magnifico 1983 Wivery Sibelius Prize Polish National Award 1977 Prix Arthur Honegger for Magnificat 1977 Hudder Prize 1968 Prix Italie for the Dies Irae in memory of the victims of Auschwitz 1967 Prix Italia for the St.Luke Passion Sibelius Gold Medal 1966 Grand Art Prize of North Rhine-Westphalia for St.Luke Passion 1961 Prize of the UNESCO International Tribune of Composers in Paris for Threnody 1959 Second Competition for Young Polish Composers in Warsaw organized by the Composers Union Penderecki was awarded the top 3 prizes for the works he anonymously submitted, Stanzas, Emanations, and Psalms of David. Penderecki is honorary doctor and honorary professor of several universities: Georgetown University, Washington, D. C. University of Glasgow, Moscow Tchaikovsky Conservatory, Frederick Chopin Music Academy in Warsaw, Seoul National University, Universities of Rochester, Bordeaux, Leuven, Belgrade, Madrid, Poznan and St. Olaf College, Duquesne University, Pontifical Catholic University of Peru, University of Pittsburgh, University of St. Petersburg, Beijing Conservatory, Yale University and Westfälische Wilhelms Universität in Munster. He is an honorary member of the following academies and music companies: Royal Academy of Music, Accademia Nazionale di Santa Cecilia, Royal Swedish Academy of Music, Academy of Arts, Accademia Nationale de Belles Arts, the Society of Friends of Music in Vienna, Academy of Arts in Berlin, Académie Internationale de Philosophie et des Arts in Bern, and the Académie Nationale des Sciences Belles Lettres et Arts in Bordeaux.